So the first thing that I want to ask you was a very tactical advice for myself as early podcaster in the game. If you had to go back with, you don't have the audience that you have right now, you don't have the connections, you don't have the JLD brand, what's the advice that you would give someone for the first 12 months of starting a podcast?
Only focus on solving one problem for a specific niche of listeners. Like right now, it's 2020. There are 850,000 podcasts out there. About 750,000 of them are all the exact same thing. Let me get entrepreneurs on the show and asking them the exact same questions that everybody's been asking all these years. And they'll answer the exact same questions 1,000 times. And it's just like a weak replica and duplication of things that have been out there. But like those podcasts that can win in 2020 and beyond are those that say, you know what, I'm going to be a specific show serving a specific niche and solving a specific problem for my listeners. Those podcasts win. They win because they're different, they're unique, and they're solving real problems.
Do you think you find out that niche eventually and you grow into it? Or it comes from the beginning and then you just keep going at it?
I think there's no simple answer to that question, but you need to try initially to identify a niche so that you can start getting traction within that niche. Because again, you're able to get down into an area that's not massively saturated with competition, and you're able to solve those individuals' problems better than anybody else. And then you need to engage with them, ask them what their biggest problems are, and use that information they're giving to you to really, make sure either A, you're in the right niche, or help you shift and adjust and pivot into what actually niche you need to be in, what actual problems you need to be solving based off of that feedback from your listeners.
I love that. And I use you as somebody that I look in the mirror to get better at as a host. You have over 2,500 episodes under your belt. What do you do as a host now? What are the things you made a conscious effort to improve on versus you as a host when you got started?
The biggest thing that I focus on as a host is I say to myself, who's my perfect listener? Who is my avatar? And that person is Jimmy. He's 40 years old. He has a wife and 2 kids, ages 3 and 5. He has a 25-minute commute to work. Like, I know my perfect listener amazingly well. And so every single time I'm interviewing somebody, I'm not interviewing them as John Lee Dumas, because guess what? I'm 8 years into my business. I've been making multiple millions of dollars a year for 8 years now. I have my dream house, my dream business. My listeners, they're earlier in the journey. They're just starting, or they're just a little ways in, and they're trying to learn and grow and get momentum. So if I ask questions that just me, JLD, had, they wouldn't be nearly as relevant as if I ask questions that Jimmy has, my perfect listener. So I put myself in the shoes of my avatar, my perfect listener, and I come at it with a mindset of curiosity, always saying, John, what would Jimmy be thinking right now as my guest is sharing this topic, this explanation, this thing? What would Jimmy want to know? And then I try to ask those questions.
That's so interesting to me, because this is my side project. My real business is an agency doing content marketing as well. So I wanted to ask you, how do you think, especially B2B CEOs, can use a podcast to help their business as well? Right? I think it has already provided returns for me, besides my personal experience, which I love. But how do you think, from a business standpoint, that a podcast can help a company marketing strategy?
So a podcast can help a content marketing strategy just overall in general, because it's going to allow you to deliver free, valuable, and consistent content to a set of listeners who are going to grow to know, like, and trust you, the host. They're going to be able to trust you. Like, you're not going to read a blog post and like immediately trust the author. You're not going to like watch a 3-minute YouTube video and immediately trust, the person that created it. But you're going to listen to like a 35 minutes, podcast episode where it's literally your earbuds, are in, and that person's voice is delivering you value. Not just one episode, not just 2 episodes, but 10 episodes, 20, 50. Some of my listeners have listened to thousands of my episodes. So they have this know, like, and trust, so that when you turn to them and then say, Fire Nation, like, what is your biggest struggle right now? Like, what are you struggling with right now in this moment? They'll tell you. They'll be honest because they feel like they know you with their problems, their obstacles, their challenges. And then the best part is you can create the solutions. And since they know, like, and trust you, they're going to want the solution from you because you're the person that created the value. You're the person that built the trust. You're the person that asked the question of what they were struggling with. And now you're saying, here's the solution. You're welcome.